If you woke up this morning and felt heavy, stuck, unable to move, not because you were lazy or exhausted, but because something deeper is holding you down, listen carefully. Carl Jung would say this: "You are not failing. You are not weak. You are not losing discipline. You are listening to your soul." There are mornings when the body does not want to rise. Your mind feels foggy. Normal tasks feel empty and far away. Most people judge themselves for this. They call it laziness or lack of motivation. But Jung believed something very different. He believed that when your energy pulls back, it doesn't disappear. It speaks. It speaks through stillness, through heaviness, through the need to stop. It is a message from inside you that has been ignored for too long. The weight you feel is not your spirit breaking. It is your spirit changing. We live in a world that demands constant movement and productivity. A world that praises pushing forward even when you are falling apart. Silence is treated like a problem. Rest is treated like failure. But the soul does not follow culture. It follows truth. And when your life moves away from that truth, your soul slows you down so you will finally notice. What feels like "I don't want to get up" may actually be the first sign of inner change. Something old is ending. Something new is quietly forming. This pause is not the end. It is the beginning. Sometimes the body understands before the mind does. You wake up and feel a deep pull telling you to stay still. The world calls this laziness. Jung called it communication. To Jung, the body and soul were never separate. The unconscious speaks through feelings, instincts, tiredness, and physical resistance. When your body refuses to move, it may be rebelling against a life that no longer fits who you truly are. Many people who feel this heaviness are not weak. They are living lives that do not match their inner truth. On the outside, they perform, please, and push. On the inside, something is asking for honesty. When these two worlds drift too far apart, the psyche pulls its energy away from the false one. The body slows down before the mind can explain why. Jung described the soul like an ancient animal. It senses change long before you do. It knows when a chapter of your life has ended, even if you refuse to accept it. When the gap between who you are and how you live becomes too wide, the soul applies the brakes. This often shows up as the desire to lie down, to withdraw, to stop. Jung believed this stillness is not decay. It is incubation. A sacred pause where the unconscious reorganizes itself. On the outside, nothing seems to happen. Inside, everything is shifting. Old identities fall apart. Old dreams lose meaning. New directions begin to form, quietly. Think of a forest in winter. It looks dead. But underground, roots grow stronger. Seeds prepare. Energy gathers. The soul works the same way. When you feel like you could lie down all day, you may be in the winter of your inner life. Rest is not optional here. It is necessary. The problem is that modern life does not allow winter. It demands endless summer. Constant output. Constant action. But the psyche cannot bloom forever. It must retreat. It must rest. It must change in darkness. This inner winter often begins when something in your life has ended, even if nothing outside has changed yet. Many people in this state feel between worlds. Their current life feels too tight, too small, like clothes that no longer fit. They know something must change, but they don't yet know what. Jung believed this is when the unconscious starts drawing a new inner map. The old path no longer leads where your soul wants to go. The body knows this first. So it slows you down. It stops you from running back to the familiar. It forces you to face what you've been avoiding. Stillness becomes the doorway. Fatigue becomes the teacher. The desire to lie down becomes a signal pointing toward change. This is why Jung said the body must be listened to, not feared. Its heaviness is not your enemy. It is guidance. It tells you that something deep is shifting. That you are entering a new chapter. The real question is not why you feel tired. The real question is, what is this tiredness trying to show you? Jung believed there are different kinds of soul tiredness. Each carries a different message. Each points toward a different kind of transformation. Fatigue is not always a problem. Sometimes, it is truth speaking quietly. And the first kind is the tiredness that comes from living out of alignment with who you really are. This kind of exhaustion appears when your outer life no longer matches what truly matters to you inside. You go through daily tasks that once felt important, but now they feel empty. Conversations feel fake. Responsibilities feel heavy. Even your achievements don't bring real satisfaction. Jung believed that the psyche pulls energy away from anything that is no longer honest. When your soul realizes you are living for approval instead of truth, it quietly stops supporting that life. Your energy fades. Your body slows down. This is not failure. It is honesty. The second kind of tiredness comes from grief that was never faced. Some heaviness does not come from today, but from the past. Losses you never allowed yourself to feel. Endings you never honored. Versions of yourself that disappeared without goodbye. Jung believed that unprocessed grief drains your inner energy. You feel tired because your soul is holding on to something that was never mourned. The heaviness is asking you to pause and feel what was lost. Until you do, your energy cannot fully return. The third kind of tiredness comes from emotional overload. Some people are deeply sensitive. They feel the moods of others, the tension in a room, the pain in the world. Jung saw these people as emotional sensors. Each kind of tiredness is a doorway. Jung believed the body is often wiser than the conscious mind. Long before we admit something is wrong, the body feels it. Long before we accept that a path has ended, the body refuses to walk it. This is why the urge to lie down can feel confusing. On the surface, nothing looks wrong. Your life may seem stable. But inside, something no longer fits. The body knows this and refuses to move forward in a direction that betrays your truth. Jung compared the psyche to an ecosystem. When one part is out of balance, the whole system adjusts. Fatigue is not weakness. It is the system trying to correct itself. Many people feel tired even after resting. They lose interest in things they once enjoyed. They feel held back by an invisible force. Jung believed this happens when the psyche pulls energy away from the outside world and turns it inward. What feels like loss of energy is often energy returning home to prepare for change. Sometimes the body refuses to obey the mind. You tell yourself to get up, but you can't. You try to push forward, but there's no strength. This is the unconscious asking you to stop. Modern culture teaches us to distrust rest. But nothing in nature moves without pause. Forests rest. Seasons change. Even the heart moves in rhythms. The psyche cannot be forced into endless motion. When pushed too far, it protects itself by slowing you down. This is not collapse. It is restoration. Sometimes the body stops because a truth is ready to be faced. A decision you've avoided. A life you've outgrown. A realization waiting to surface. Other times, the body senses harm where the mind sees routine. It knows when you are holding too much, pretending too much, or living in ways that drain you.
yourself as active, reorganizing who you are becoming. Think of a forest in winter. The trees look still. The ground looks frozen. But under the soil, roots are growing and seeds are preparing to sprout. Life is not gone, it is preparing. Jung believed the human mind works the same way. When you feel drawn to stillness, your soul is entering a winter phase meant for renewal. Modern life fears this. It treats rest as failure and demands constant progress, even when you are worn out. But the psyche does not grow on command. It grows in cycles, movement and rest, light and dark. Silence is what allows change to happen. When you lie still, your soul gathers the parts of you that stress, pressure, and expectations have scattered. It brings them back together. It begins to heal what was hurt and strengthen what became weak. It prepares you for a life that asks for more honesty than before. In this quiet, the unconscious sorts through the stories you tell yourself. It lets go of what no longer helps you. It keeps what is true. It creates new paths for understanding.
You may feel numb or foggy because your thinking mind has stepped aside to make room for deeper work. Jung believed this stillness is not wasted time. It is meaningful inner labor. What feels like lying down is actually returning to solid ground, where your soul can grow strong roots again. Many people fear silence because it reveals truths they've avoided. When the noise stops, you notice what you ignored: lost dreams, draining relationships, hidden sadness. Stillness removes distraction and shows what your soul already knows. Jung believed this confrontation is not meant to break you. It is meant to prepare you. Before change, there is darkness. Before insight, there is quiet. Before rebirth, there is withdrawal. This pattern appears in nature, in myths, and in deep personal change. Heroes enter caves. Prophets go into deserts. Jung himself withdrew from the world during his own transformation. When your body asks you to lie still, it is guiding you into your own inner cave, a place where the old self fades and the new one begins to form. You are not lazy. You are changing. You are not falling behind. You are turning inward. In this inward turn, something important happens. Silence creates space for truth. Stillness allows clarity. Gentleness replaces harshness. This is where renewal begins. When stillness calls, the task is not to fight it, but to respect it. Inside this quiet is a map of who you are meant to become. Jung believed that when the body grows heavy and the world grows quiet, a deeper conversation begins. This conversation doesn't use words. It speaks through feelings, images, memories, and dreams. Without listening, stillness feels confusing. With listening, it becomes insight. The unconscious is not trying to hold you back. It is trying to realign you with your truth. Modern life celebrates constant motion, but Jung believes something different. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stop. To rest. To be still. To let the world move while your soul gathers strength. This is not failure. It is preparation. Like a chrysalis that looks lifeless but is transforming inside, your stillness hides deep change. The ego calls it stagnation. The soul calls it growth. Rest is not weakness. It is courage, the courage to choose truth over performance, depth over speed. When you rest with awareness, the unconscious begins healing, organizing, and renewing you. Great transformations have always happened in silence. Stillness is not the end of life. It is where life quietly begins again.